National Shutdown, which has kicked off today. Police Minister Behicele talking about protest action in Braamfontein in Johannesburg last night, with several roads being blocked there. He's called on protesters to stand down. He says no rubber bullets were fired during that confrontation with protesters in Braamfontein, but around the country, around 57 people arrested. There have been fires in some townships. The minister saying at this point the situation is pretty normal around the country. People are going to work. One bus was attacked in Cape Town. There were some fires started in KwaZulu-Natal. But police, according to the minister, working with the SANDF, as you know, some 3,500 soldiers deployed, also working with private security and communities, particularly in KwaMashu, Umlazi, Soweto and Alexandra. The minister saying police have no reason to intervene with peaceful protests. He says 24,000 tyres collected from strategic points around the country as well. The minister's call effectively to protesters this morning: let's be peaceful, minimize confrontation, and police, he says, will have to be tough without being brutal. Police will arrest people causing disruptions, protesters blocking others from going to work and starting fires and the like. So that's the update from the police minister at just after quarter to seven, on this Monday morning. When we come back, the EFF will weigh in. It's rejected the deployment of the army by the president. We'll speak to the party's national chairperson, Veronica Mente, joins us on the line when we come back. Good morning once again. The EFF has slammed the deployment of the South African National Defence Force during its national shutdown today. The Red Berets say this is government's way of suppressing their constitutional right to protest. They're calling for an end to load shedding, unemployment and the resignation of President Cyril Ramaphosa with this national shutdown. For more on this, we're joined this morning by the EFF's National Chairperson, Veronica Mente, joins us on the line this morning. Veronica, thanks very much for talking to us. The day is finally here, the EFF's national shutdown. What can you tell us about your strategic positions around the country?
Yeah, good morning, and thank you very much for having us. Good morning to the viewers at home. This morning we are continuing as usual, and we are continuing as planned. We still do not have strategic positions. Wards of the EFF across the country will be getting together and gathering in places where they have identified to go and protest. And as we have said, this is a peaceful protest. Thus, all the wards of the EFF and all the concerned citizens with the organization that have joined the national shutdown, as it has been declared by the EFF with all the other political parties as well as shop stewards of the ground, they are all going to be joining now and starting to be peacefully protesting against Ramaphosa, demanding that Ramaphosa must go, demanding that our country must have its electricity back, demanding the high levels of unemployment, the schools that are dysfunctional, clinics that are not working, and the roads that are full of potholes. So the protest is going ahead. We are on the ground. That is why you can't even catch me on the video, because I'm not in a very strategic place to have a video. We are going ahead with the protest. Everything is good to go.
That's really key for the protest today, isn't it, Veronica? That it really is what the EFF has called it, that it is a national shutdown of the country, demanding all of the things that you've just outlined to us. It does appear in various parts of the country. We've got some of our reporters out this morning that things are proceeding per usual. People are getting into taxis. They're going to work. Is that something that protesters will allow to continue? That those who choose to not be a part of this protest action today, this national shutdown today, that they can go about their normal lives?
This narrative that we are going to be breaching other people's rights is a narrative that has been driven by the governing party and the DA, because they wanted to instill fear on our people. We told our people that protesters will be approaching the streets, and if anything happens out of that protest, because they also planted vigilante groups that are going to be attacking people within our protest, that can be a harm to our innocent citizens of this country. So that narrative of we are going to be attacking people, intimidating people and all of that, people are going to be joining the march in numbers. Mm-hmm. So if the country is going on as usual, that's not also true, because there's nothing usual today. Many businesses have closed down. There's very minimal traffic on the road. On the roads that I have traveled in this morning, there is simple no cars, few to no cars in many of the roads. The police and the soldiers are the ones that are blocking the roads as we speak, because they are searching every car. They are trying to get to know what's happening. They are trying to see who's wearing what color in each and every car and searching it. So they are successfully blocking the country. And we are still going to go to the streets and do what we said we are going to do.
Mm-hmm. But the EFF has warned businesses, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, the EFF has warned businesses to close, haven't they?
We did not want the business to close. We notify businesses that we will be marching in these streets. Mm-hmm. And if you are a caring businessman, we are here to invite the workers and yourself, because this is a legitimate cause that affects you too as a business. And many businesses agreed with us to say we are going to close because we are affected. I used to be open here for 12 hours and operate functionally and optimally with 20 staff members. Today I only have 5. I had to lay off 15 workers because I do not have sufficient energy to run the business. So many of the business people closed down their shops in agreement that they want to join the shutdown. And it's not true that we said to business they must close down. We notified them to say, if you care for your business and you know already that there are groups which are sent by other people to disrupt the business of the EFF, that may affect your businesses. If you care so much for your workers, if you care so much for your business, you rather close on the day so that nothing happens to you.
Mm. Veronica, at the end of today, at midnight tonight, March 20th, you know, when the day ends, how will the EFF gauge the success of this national shutdown?
Wow, no, if any honest person and any honest opinion, you will see the impact of the shutdown of the EFF and the shutdown that has been supported by numbers of South Africans and even abroad. Internationally and continentally, people are supporting the call for Ramaphosa to go. You would know even yourself there, yesterday and the day before, we had to watch the news throughout the day without not being disrupted. We have seen now that we do actually have a capable state with a lot of police officers and even soldiers to curb crime. Here in the Western Cape, where I was yesterday, the Western Cape, the people that are affected by gang fights, the rape crimes, criminals that are harassing them on a day in, day out, they do that with impunity. No police on site, no soldiers on site. But now we get to see there's police everywhere. Johannesburg earlier yesterday, it was full of police. Last night in Braamfontein, children were harassed and rubber bullets fired. One of them even said, fire that window. You can see the intent that they wanted to damage property and pin that on the innocent students, children that were protesting peacefully. They were not even protesting. They were just on the streets peacefully singing and distributing pamphlets to people who must come and join the shutdown. So we now have, for the EFF, we have seen how the police can operate optimally and curb crime if they wanted to. But we have a state that doesn't care about the people. They would rather go and kill innocent protesters. However, for us, this is not a shock. We're led by a murderer, a president that has declared that in the mind, people, anyone who is challenging the status quo must be killed through a concomitant action that is instructed in Americana. So this does not come as a shock that a state has a special instruction that shoot and kill whoever is stepping on the road.
Veronica, just as a parting shot from you, what is your message to South Africans this morning and to those who will be taking part in the protest action unfolding today? And I suppose for your critics as well, who are saying, given the state of the economy, businesses are already suffering, which you've already outlined to us, our unemployment rate in the country, load shedding and households buckling under the pressure of the economy, is this shutdown perhaps going against what people are already trying to do, which is to put food on the table?
Now, my message to the people is that our people, we must be aware of the fact that should there be more people unemployed out there is going to be an unled revolution. People are going to rise, and they are going to come for anyone who has a salary at the end of the month. So it's best that today we go on a call, all of us, demanding that the status quo must change, because we cannot have 70% of young people not doing anything, loitering the streets, not because they want to. They are looking for opportunities. Every opportunity they get to open just a small business, a saloon, a barber shop, a car wash, that dream also gets diminished because there is no electricity to assist them to open those businesses. They cannot get employment anyway. We are a country that is bleeding. We are a country with young people having nothing to do. We are a country with women that must give birth in their homes because there are no ambulances. We are a country where injured people cannot get assistance. There are no ambulances. The hospitals are dysfunctional. We are a country where children and women are raped on a daily basis. They cannot get justice because police arrive 2 days after the effect. Police arrive and not collect evidence. Out of 100 women raped, almost only 5 or 4 women get to successfully to be on the stand with the perpetrators. And out of those 4 perpetrators, only 2 or 1 can get successfully prosecuted, because that's the state of the security in our country. The courts are not working in our favor. The police are not working in our favor. We are infested with drugs that are coming all over into our country, and our children become subject of that drug abuse. We now have to take a stand and say enough is enough. Let's join the picket line. Let's tell this government that today your president must go. We must get a capable leader to lead this government. We must get a capable executive to lead these departments so that they can work in our favor.
Veronica
and
Mente,
for anyone else who is here in South Africa, you are safe. The EFF will never harm a black person.
The EFF's National Chairperson, Veronica Mente, thanks very much indeed for joining us. We're back in a moment with your headline stories. It's just gone 7 o'clock.